Ukraine Airlines says the aircraft was newer, built in 2016, and was cleared after a scheduled maintenance test just 2 days ago. They dismiss any error by the crew, saying between them they had tens of thousands of hours of flight experience on 737s.
The data shows that this airplane completely disappeared at 7,900 feet. That is very suspicious. Only two things could cause that: a bomb or the aircraft being shot down.
Less than 5,000 feet off the ground, 10 miles from the airport, and the data stops. The jet falling from the sky. What could cause such a catastrophic crash? A mechanical failure, a bomb, or a shoot-down? A theory getting attention because of the heightened tensions in Iran. Some are pointing to what appear to be shrapnel holes in the pictures of some of the wreckage, similar to what was found in the Malaysian Flight 17, which was shot down over Ukraine.
And there is still fiery rhetoric coming from officials here on live TV today. Iran's supreme leader calling the Iranian missile strike a slap in the face delivered to America, and calling for all U.S. troops to get out of the Mideast. So, David, while the heat may be turned way down, this standoff with Iran is far from over. David.
All right, Martha Raddatz in Tehran. Martha, thank you. We, of course, are also following the plane crash, the mystery, just hours after Iran fired those missiles, a Ukrainian passenger jet crashing minutes after takeoff at the airport in Tehran. Tonight, look at this. Pieces of the Boeing 737 strewn across acres of land, along with the remains of at least 176 people on board. No one survived. So far tonight, Iran is refusing to share the flight data recorders with the U.S. or with Boeing. Was it catastrophic failure? Was it a bomb? Was it Iran on heightened alert after those missiles? ABC's David Curley covers aviation for us.
Pieces of burning wreckage pierced Tehran's early morning darkness, the remains of the Ukrainian Boeing 737. With daylight, the grim awareness that none of the 176 on board survived. Body bags lining the side of a street. A child's notebooks found on the ground. More than a third of those on board, 63 people, Canadian citizens. It was soon after takeoff that the jet suddenly disappeared from radar.
The data stopped like that, you have to say it's something catastrophic.
It was less than 4 hours after Iran launched that barrage of missiles at American targets in Iraq that the Ukrainian jet was allowed to take off, an hour late. Just 2 minutes into the flight, the jet was climbing, less than 5,000 feet off the ground, 10 miles from the airport, and the data stops, the jet falling from the sky. What could cause such a catastrophic crash? A mechanical failure, a bomb, or a shoot-down? A theory getting attention because of the heightened tensions in Iran. Some are pointing to what appear to be shrapnel holes in the pictures of some of the wreckage, similar to what was found in the Malaysian Flight 17, which was shot down over Ukraine.
Right now, we don't have enough data to go one way or the other. Is a shoot down possible? Yes. Can I come up with mechanical failures that are possible? Yes. And right now, we just don't have the data.
The Iranians deny a shoot down of the jetliner and say they have recovered the black boxes, which could have answers. But Iran will not provide those boxes to U.S. authorities or Boeing.
While they may not provide the boxes to the U.S., other parties are being invited to the investigation. So there's a chance the Ukrainians or the Canadians will share the data at some point. David, the question is, when?
David Curley tonight. David, our thanks to you as well.
Out. The president now ramping up the economic pressure on the regime, announcing fresh sanctions, but appeared to stray away from that military action he threatened just days ago. Just hours after a counterattack by Iran, President Trump insisted the regime is backing off.
Iran appears to be standing down, which is a good thing for all parties concerned and a very good thing for the world.
The president, who just days before warned the U.S. would strike fast and hard in response to a retaliatory attack, made no mention of a military response in his address to the nation, instead announcing tougher sanctions on the country.
The fact that we have this great military and equipment, however, does not mean we have to use it.
Tensions between the two countries at a boiling point, but maybe a chance now to cool. Iran taking revenge for the death of its top commander, Qasem Soleimani. firing roughly 24 missiles at 2 military bases in Iraq where American troops were stationed. President Trump says an early warning system gave American troops a heads up to the imminent danger. Only minimal damage was sustained at the military bases, but all U.S. and Iraqi troops are safe. Iranian officials defiant. The supreme leader calling the strike a slap in the face to the U.S., ratcheting up demands for President Trump to pull all American forces out of the region. President Trump says under his watch, Iran will not have a nuclear weapon. Trump backed out of the landmark 2015 Iran nuclear deal, despite concerns from other world leaders it would increase tensions. Today, he once again asked allies to follow his lead.
They must now break away from the remnants of the Iran deal, or JCPOA. And we must all work together toward making a deal with Iran that makes the world a safer and more peaceful place.
And amid the escalating tension, Switzerland and Oman have stepped in to help the two sides communicate, exchanging messages between Iran and the United States. Today, Switzerland calling on both countries to exercise maximum restraint. Reporting live in Washington, Rachel Scott, KOMO News.
If there's any military retaliation by the U.S., it could involve local service members. We know there are no significant deployments of local units in the targeted bases in Iraq. There are more than 70,000 service members in our area representing every branch. We asked commanders at JBLM if they're increasing security. They told us they don't discuss those kinds of base operations. Today on the floor of the Senate, Washington Senator Patty Murray demanded Congress have a say in decisions of war as spelled out in the Constitution.
Well, I firmly believe we must do everything possible to keep America safe and go after terrorists wherever they are. I also believe that except in the most dire of circumstances, we should do everything possible to exhaust all of our diplomatic avenues and coordinate with our allies and our partners before taking military action all on our own.
As the escalating tensions unfolded, a Ukraine-bound passenger jet crashed shortly after takeoff in Tehran. The Boeing 737-800 was heading to Kiev. All 176 people on board died. Ukraine Airlines says the aircraft was newer, built in 2016, and was cleared after a scheduled maintenance test just 2 days ago. They dismiss any error by the crew, saying between them they had tens of thousands of hours of flight experience on 737s.
The data shows that this airplane completely disappeared at 7,900 feet. That is very suspicious. Only two things could cause that: a bomb or the aircraft being shot down.
Iranian officials say they will not turn over the black boxes to Boeing or to American aviation officials. Several major international airlines have announced they are diverting flights away from Iranian airspace to ensure safety. Here's a live look at the Boeing 737 production facility in Renton where the 800s were built. Boeing says in a statement that their heartfelt thoughts are with the crew, passengers, and their families. They say they're ready to assist in any way needed.